I like the tree. No, good 7 feet. Well, I'm really short. Makes me feel bad. Hey everybody, this is Erica, the technology nerd who likes to film stuff, and I am here on set for YouTube Awesome Stuff Week, and I have a chance to talk about some stuff that I thought was pretty cool. So before me, I have the Microsoft Surface Pro 4. All right, so I'm just gonna pull this guy out of the box. This model that I have here is actually the Core M3. There's actually an i5 and an i7 unit as well, so this is the entry-level model. This is the fanless model. A lot of people are talking about this because we haven't had the fanless Surface like this before. We've also got our pen, which actually has been improved as well. I actually really like this pen. I want to talk about some things with that. And of course, you also need this cover here. This is the type cover that has been improved as well. Now, of course, you don't need to get the type cover, but if you don't get the type cover, you lose a huge component of functionality with this device. So the footprint itself looks the same as last year, except for now we have a little bit bigger display. So this is 12.3 inches instead of 12 inches. They've made that bezel just a little bit smaller on here. So we're going to take it and attach it with the magnets, which is actually held pretty firmly. I've been pretty surprised. You can actually just take it and do this. You know, you don't want to do this too much or shake it because it's going to fall. And also the pen is really nice because it is flat now. It's got this type of flat edge that has a magnet on it so that you can easily attach this to the side. Of course, we've got our kickstand. This seems to be exactly the same as last year. It's a really nice and strong stand that we have on here. Many different angles that we can set this at. So this is what it looks like. So now we're just going to turn it on. Now, as far as this trackpad here, I'm really liking this new trackpad, which you can also actually use with your Surface Pro 3, because we have keys that look more distinct now. So instead of the keys being all together and just having just simple rows cut out, now you have these individual keys, and I find it much easier to type on. It's just much more of a joy to type on now. And they've also changed the trackpad to looking a bit larger and also being glass instead of the fabric-y that I remember it being. We've got our standard headphone jack right here on the left side. Then on the top, we've got our power button, and also we've got our volume rockers. Then on the right side here, we have our mini display port and a full-size micro USB port, and also the place to charge it as well. And then hidden underneath, we have a place to put a micro SD card. I really wish that we could put a standard size SD card in here and not just a micro one. So taking a little bit more of a look at the specs here on the back, we have an 8 megapixel camera. This is actually an autofocus camera. This is really nice. You're not gonna go and take your tablet like this out and about, but if just say you needed to take a picture of a document or just something, you can focus in on to that. It's not a fixed focus camera. There's a 5 megapixel also autofocus camera on the front. Windows 10 adds the hello support. Basically what it allows you to do is unlock the computer with just looking at your face. And I've seen some actually pretty cool demonstrations that it works in all kinds of different lighting as well. It just seems to recognize your eyes, your nose, your mouth. So this display has been increased to 12.3 inches, and also the pixel density is higher, 267 pixels per inch. I think that it looks really nice and sharp. Also, one of the things that I noticed last year was that there were some issues with the calibration, especially on the darker end of an image, and I don't see that issue on here anymore. I know people were telling me that there was a driver update and that fixed the issue, but I'm happy to see that out of the box, the calibration looks pretty good. I do want to do a more in-depth analysis of it, but I don't really have any complaints to speak of. This is a really nice display. I've been pretty happy with this so far. I've been mentioning that this is the fanless model, and I've been telling you guys that I really don't like the sound of CPU fans, so this has been of particular interest to me. It seems to be handling some things pretty well. You can use Photoshop on this. You can also edit video, although you're not going to be able to edit them at very high resolution. I expect people to have trouble with 4K and things like that. But just for some very basics, this can handle those things. Don't forget you also have the i5 version and the i7 version as well. I do have to note that the issue with last year's model is that it had some issues with throttling. We're talking about people who are getting the i5 version, the i7 version, and they were really complaining that they spent all this money, but the thing could only sustain very small amounts of time, the highest frequency, and then would just throttle downward. So we have Microsoft who has included 2 different ways now of dealing with dissipating the heat. So not only is there a CPU fan, actually there is no CPU fan in this model, that's going to be in the i5 and the i7s. So there is a CPU fan, and also there is a copper plate that goes behind the display, and that also acts as a passive way of cooling. So those things put together have really helped this. We're not seeing the throttling like we were. So the eraser here is on the bottom, and I've actually gone into fresh paint and just made a little scribble doodle. And so it actually feels like a real eraser. This really helps with the experience of using this as a pen. And also we have 1,024 levels of pressure now instead of 256. I wasn't so keen on the pen from the Surface Pro 3, but I think they've made the improvements to where this is definitely a device that I'm more curious in purchasing for myself. Last year I said that I wouldn't buy this on a couple of different counts, but this year I think I would buy this now. I'm actually pretty excited about this. It's really thin, really, really light. They've listened, they've made some improvements. Really nice, cute package, and I think a lot of students are going to like this specifically, and even people who need to be able to use the pen. So thank you everybody for watching. This has been Erica, the technology nerd who likes to film stuff. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. And also be sure to check out youtube.com/awesomestuffweek for more awesome stuff. If you guys have any other questions about this, please let me know in the comment section below. And see you guys later.